Do you think 1 year on, Obama has kept any of the promises that he made to the American people?
Well, politicians make or imply many promises, and Obama is a very careful politician. He speaks very carefully. If you read the statements he made during his campaign, he often implied things that he didn't specifically commit to. So, for example, he implied, and many people thought he was saying, that he would pull U.S. forces out of Iraq. But if you read the exact words, you see that in lawyerly fashion he was implying that, but he wasn't really saying it. And it's the same on a whole series of other issues. Americans should not be surprised at what Obama has done.
Considering all of those Americans were really seeing what he was saying as promises and not things he was implying. Is that fair to the people?
No, it's not. But that's one of the oldest tactics in politics. You know, politicians everywhere do that. People have to learn to read carefully and listen carefully to what politicians say.
So are you saying it's the Americans' people's fault that they misunderstood what he was saying?
Some. I would say if people are disillusioned, they shouldn't have been illusioned in the first place. They should have looked closely at what Obama was saying, looked closely at the people he had as his advisors, looked closely at the track record of the Democratic Party, and you would not have been surprised by what happened, what has happened since.
Are you saying that the fact that the American people were tricked in a sense was okay? That's what happens every time? Don't expect change and miracles from a candidate who promises change and miracles?
Yeah, certainly don't expect miracles from any candidate. That's an interesting way to put it. Tricked. No, a lot of politics involves trickery. In part, you could say it's the fault of people for not demanding more. If you want to vote against support for killing civilians overseas, if you want to vote in favor of shifting wealth from the very rich to people who are starving, you can't do it if your choice is Democrat, Republican, because neither party differs on those issues. So people often resort to the other issues to make their choice, and they are put in a very tough position. I think we're basically in a pre-civilized era of history. We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't reached the point where the murder laws can be enforced, although there has been some slow progress. For example, the establishment of the International Criminal Court, I think, was a good step in the right direction.
Who would you want to see go to court first, Bush or Obama?
Obama, if possible, since he's the one who's currently wielding power and currently pulling the trigger. Bush is retired now. You would want to go after all of the active rulers in the world who are backing
So they're the ones who go first,
atrocities.
even though they're successors?
Yeah. It would be a shock to the global system. In one sense, it's a very conservative idea. Just enforce the laws that are on the books, and I'm talking about the most accepted laws. You know, there are many laws that are controversial.
You don't think this whole idea sounds like utopia in the real world nowadays?
No, I don't think it's utopia, because there has been slow progress.
You're among American citizens who say that the U.S. needs a revolution of change. What do you imply when you say that?
We need to, in the words of the American founding fathers, alter or abolish the current system, because it is not enforcing the murder laws, and it's allowing about 1 billion people worldwide to starve when they could be fed. They could be fed for the price of Washington's bailout of Citibank, for example. It could happen through massive street protests. It could even conceivably happen electorally if through media channels enough Americans were able to get the facts about what the U.S. and other powers have been doing.
Who would start this revolution, and how soon do you see it happening?
People have to start it. You know, if you look at revolutions...
Would you start it?
I would like to. I think many people would like to. I would hope that people would agree that murder's intolerable, that allowing someone to starve, if you have the dollar that can save them, and you keep it in your pocket and let them starve, that's intolerable. I think most people would agree with that. So let's try to get a system that does implements those simple ideas, and then later we can deal with the more controversial things.
Alan Nairn, thank you very much for your time with us today.
You're welcome.